especially these Christians, you can't tell them nothing. Like, here it is. Like, how the hell you know the book if you never even read the book in the first place? But they, you know, they got it in their mind that they know every damn thing and that they already saved. You know, so therefore they feel like they ain't got to work hard and read and actually go through the scriptures, you know, and dissect it. You know.
He said, I said the hard-headed rebellious. So the Lord said, I'm letting you know everything your job entails. So don't think when you go out there, just like if you go to your friends, your family, and you bring them truth, don't get surprised if they don't accept it. You know, they hard-headed and rebellious. And you try to tell them that you got to come up under some discipline if you want to be saved. They got a problem because they don't want the discipline. They just want to do whatever the hell they want and hope to be saved. That's not how it works.
Yep. Says, they and their fathers have transgressed against me even unto this very day, for they are impotent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the Israelites?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ezekiel is a prophet.
Yep. It says, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, power, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there had been a prophet among them.
So that's how the Most High works. If Most High choose certain men to call them prophets, he'll come to them, get them the vision, and say, now go and tell your people. He said, whether they hear or fear, but they are imputed children. So they're going to be like, they ain't listen to you, whatever, that nigga crazy, don't listen to them. He said, yet they shall know a prophet has been among them. So he said, just like in the days of Noah, he said, somebody give me that. Can you get that, brother? Matthew 24.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Because I mean, I do know a little bit about, like, I assume that I knew a little bit about the timeline and like some of the story with the Israelites. So when I listen to what you guys are saying, as far as like the condition in which the Israelites are in today, is us. So my question is, I know that Israelites were stubborn and hard-headed people.
Still are.
And and due to their disobedience, they were put in bondage in Egypt. But you're saying that we're like, it's us today?
Yeah.
But how so if they already went in bondage to Egypt?
Okay. We never finished that.
We're enslaved in Egypt.
The slave.
Okay.
Right again.
Because it seems like when you were reading those scriptures in I think it was Deuteronomy, you know, when you were explaining the condition of the people, you would have to be a fool not to accept that this is your condition. Just like if somebody like me couldn't accept that this is their condition today. You know what I'm saying?
So, well, I will say we did go into bondage in Egypt. We served the Egyptians for a few times, but the first time we did it, when the Lord delivered us, we didn't necessarily do anything to deserve that. That's why the Lord came and got us out. But we did serve other captivities: Babylonian captivity, Assyrian, Greeks, Romans, Assyrians, and the other nations, even the Canaanites and so forth. We did serve them as punishment. But then it happened again. You got it?
28.
Yeah. So we back in them same curses, and this is like the banger. This is the very last verse on that.
Deuteronomy 28:68, and it reads, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he said, can you give me Matthew chapter 2?
The Bible says that?
Yes.
Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he said, you're going to be brought into Egypt again with ships. Now, if you look at a map, Israel and Egypt is right next to each other. You can walk there, right? Yeah. So he said with ships, right? Well, what you find out is that when the Lord brought us up out of the land of Egypt, He said, I brought you out of the land of bondage. That's what the word Egypt means. The Hebrew word Mizraim, which means bondage. So he said, you're going to go into bondage again, but with ships. You got that?
It's Exodus 13 and 3.
This is before we came out.
And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which you came from Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
The house of bondage.
For by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten.
So read that again.
That's like, yeah. Says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With ships. You got that? Matthew's 2. Try to find the part where it said that the Lord's family had to flee.
14.
Go 13.
Yes, like it. And what other people went into slavery on ships? We did.
Yeah, that's.
You know, I mean, it's just it's so plain. You know.
But people will get caught up on it.
I didn't know like that's mentioned in the Bible.
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
see, people get
They
caught
don't
up
read
on
it
the
in church.
Egypt part and say, wait a minute, this is America. Yeah, we're going to finish that.
America is known as.
America is known, the scriptures talk about another Egypt.
Yeah.
And that's America. Go ahead.
Like it's like what's on the back of the dollar? A pyramid. Yeah. So this place is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. You know, from the sodomy. You know what sodomy is?
like
Yeah.
more.
We're going to read that too. You got that?
Yeah.
Read that part. I got you.
This is Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13.
This is just the Lord. This is what happened when he was born. Herod put out a kill order, right? Well, then he sought to kill him. So this is what the Lord commanded his family to do. Right?
This is Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt. And be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
So it was very common and they fled to Egypt on foot. So you don't need to take ships to Egypt, especially if you're in Israel. So what is it talking about? It's talking about a new Egypt. Now finish that. Now go to Revelation 11:18.
Oh, I did. You want to read it again?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now we established that the Lord referred to Egypt as the house of bondage. And he said you're going to go in the house of bondage again with ships. Before you read that, you got it?
11 and 18.
18.
This is Revelations chapter 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come.
Talking about prophecy ultimately when the Lord destroyed this place. Go ahead.
And the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets.
I'm sorry, verse 8.
Oh, verse 8.
Fuck.
And their, Salakia. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
So the Bible talks about another place, John, about another place spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. We believe that to be America. Sodom, it goes without question. This place is Sodom. All right? Sodom is more on a whole nother level. But it's also Egypt. Egypt represents the house of bondage because this is where our people served hardcore slavery. And we was brought over here against our will on slave ships. And you did the research and tell you that one slave ship to go from the east to the west took 90 days. That's 3 months. Can you imagine being on a ship, tight packed, naked for 3 whole months? That's terrible.
Yeah, so peeing and doodling on yourself and other people, doodling on you.
A lot of them didn't make it. That's why they tight packed. We're gonna put as many as you can on the ship because we know by the time we get over there, we're gonna lose at least 10 or 20 of them due to sickness, disease, and we just don't throw them overboard. The Lord did that as a curse. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
It says, by the whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And the see it no more again is talking about our land, Israel. Right? And that's why strangers inhabit our land. That's a curse. Do you have Israelites over there? Of course, you got families over there. But ultimately, as a people, we're not in them. So our whole land is taken before us.
What's in the news right now? I don't know if you've seen it. You got so-called black Israelites getting kicked out of Israel. Seen that?
I
40,
watch
how many
TV.
was it? 45.
45.
Right?
I don't know the reason why they're kicking them out, but that's really our homeland. But these devils are in power right now, so they can just kick us up out of our own land.
That's because we're under the curse. They're Israelites just like us, but their leader has different doctrines. We don't follow it, but they're getting kicked out because they keep seeking citizenship. And they tired of them. They like, look, we're going to send you out. You got 2 months. That's a curse. We ain't got our land. You know what I'm saying?
Our own land.
And it's not that time, man.
We there
The
yet.
scriptures say that the Lord gonna set us in our own land, and we ain't gonna be fucked with no more. Like,
So that's another question that tends to come up. Okay, if we know the Israelites is really our land, we got to go back there. We don't have to. The Lord said that land is pretty much inhabited by devils, and He's going to be the one to physically take us from over here to our land. He's going to be the one to do it. We got to wait on Him. Finish that though.
And it says, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Bondmen, bondwomen. That's slave men to slave women. And it said no man shall buy you. What that's talking about is no man shall redeem you. No man is going to save you. No man's going to say, oh, those are the Israelites, those God's people, let's save them. You're being sold as slaves. You got that?
Yep. Jeremiah 15:5.
Yep.
Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest?
That's right. The Lord said, who's gonna bemoan thee? Bemoan thee. Who's gonna go aside to ask how thou doest? Name me one nation on this planet Earth that stood up to try to save us or to try to help us. Nobody came to our rescue. So when he said you're gonna be sold on auction blocks, he's saying there's not gonna be a nation to redeem you and say, look, let me buy all them slaves and get them their own land. Everybody just said, okay, fine. Let's capitalize off their slavery. Even to this day, the curses that we're under, these other nations, they're capitalizing off our condition. Chinese, like the Lord plagued our women, black women, say so-called black women, Israelites and Jews, right? They can't really grow long hair. He hit them with that because of pride. They don't even realize it. That's why they love her so much. What is Moab, which is the Chinese? What do? Oh, we can come over here and we can make a killing off them, right? Treat them like shit, but make a living off them because they can't grow hair. The Arabs come over here and do the exact same thing. They set up these gas stations, liquor stores in the ghettos. They don't put that in why don't they put that in the suburbs? They ain't gonna get no business. They put it over there with the glass, bulletproof window, and the shotgun, selling you cigarettes and stuff like that. They'll sell you individual cigarettes with some change or whatever. No, that's killing you, right? Do they ever say, look, let's work together, let's help out? No. Even the Africans, when they come over here, plenty of times they got their own clothing stores, stuff like that. Do they ever stop and say, look, let's work together, make something happen? It doesn't happen. So we're just the consumers while they're the sellers. So they're making all the money off of us. That's a curse.
You never seen the Africans go out and protest when our people get shot by police. You ever seen that?
Do you ever see one of them get
real
racially
African.
profiled by cops and killed by cops? It'd be Jake.
And if I may add, the whole idea they having with the Asians, they said stop the Asian hate. They got reparations and everything. But the quick question is, where is our reparations at? Where is stop the black hate at? You see, and then when you Psalms 83, so-called Chinese people and white people, they in alliance with each other.
It's time some ministers show up.
They know when to say like 4 minutes. When they come to us, they like fuck us, man. They let us go through it.
Right. Do we have a seat at the UN?
nope.
And nobody talks. Nobody. The Lord said. Why did the Lord say it? Because it's for us to realize nobody cares about us but Him. Yeah. He took us out of all the nations of people. Okay.
What is it, Isaiah 3:16?
Yeah. Curses on the women.
He said, I took you out of all the world. You're mine. Nobody care about you. The whole world hates us. You know, when the Lord brought us out of Egypt, the first person to come and try to fight us in the wilderness was Esau. He's Amalek, particularly the so-called Jews. They said, oh, hell no, they free from slavery, we gotta go kill them. They tried to attack us at our most vulnerable state, but we won. After him, Moab, the Chinese came, and they said, you gotta curse these people. Why?
So can I ask you a question? I'm sorry to cut you off. So when you the curses that you're talking about, of course, you know, it applies to us. So I want to ask you about. So what did the Jewish people go through?
nothing.
Shit.
in the Holocaust.
That's fake.
That was from typhus fever.
And what happened was, even if they did go through that, the number of how many of them was killed was exaggerated. You know, and at the end of the day, they're not the real people because they didn't go on slavery on slave stuff. They actually owned the world.
Yeah.
You know, these private
Yeah, I
neighborhoods.
know. That's what I'm saying.
They're the richest people.
So, and if you're saying that if the Israelites were supposed to be cursed, I mean, they're far from cursed.
Exactly, they run
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, you probably didn't hear about the situation with Nick Cannon, but
I actually did hear about that.
he did the same
He
thing.
went on there. He was saying that it's something special about us, and like,
Yeah.
He said, "What are real Jews?"
Yeah, like,
and he said, "What are real Jews? And we gotta talk about what they do." You know what them fake Jews did? They said, "Oh hell no, we about to shut you down," because they run everything.
Yeah.
They run the music industry. They run the diamond. I think they run the diamond. I was just
Yeah, they do. They
They
do.
run everything. They got the FBI in their back pocket. All
Diamonds, gold,
Oil, drugs.
lithium.
they run the media. You know,
Everything.
everything, but there's curse. They run every goddamn thing. All these rich neighborhoods, whatever, it's rent. It's all them people.
all these apartment buildings, they own these
The
motherfuckers.
Loop, the Delmar Loop is owned by them.
So how could they be the people?
Yeah.
Joe
And then-
Biden is Jewish.
And then on top of it, over there in Israel and Tel Aviv, they call it the Pink City. They have the biggest gay parade every year. But wait a minute, I thought they were supposed to be God's chosen people. Why you having a sodomite parade in the Holy Land? They're not the people. And they know they're not.
And you got, like, when you listen to Vlad, oh, I don't believe any of that stuff. Like, that's because you know y'all ain't the people,
You know how
man.
many videos, you can't say nothing about them. There's a quote made by some person. He called the True Rulers quote. It's a good quote. He says, if you want to know who's in charge, just find out who it is you can't criticize. Whoever you can't criticize, they the ones in charge. And they
Yeah.
control it. You know how many videos they take down of ours because we bring out facts.
I mean, this is just me just being honest. If